Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Blender in Motion. Today we're going to be making an awesome Netflix intro and it's going to look something like this. Yeah, let's get into it. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you can. And if you're a new viewer, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps with the motivation. And yeah, so we can both be on this journey to learn Blender and to, uh, you know, let's just learn the software. It's such a beautiful software. It's such an amazing software that can do so many things. And I think, yeah, I think it's an awesome thing if we go on this journey of learning Blender together. So, yeah, so let's get into the tutorial. The first thing we're gonna do, and I have my screencast keys on the side, so you can see how everything is done. If you don't know anything, just put it in the comments and hopefully I can get back to you. So the first thing is I'm going to click A on the keyboard to select everything. That selects everything in our scene. And I'm going to click X on the keyboard. And then I'm going to left click on the mouse to delete everything. So now that we have our scene cleared up, what we're going to do is simply add a text. So we're going to say Shift A. That's the shortcut key. And we're going to go into text. Then I'm going to click 7 on the numpad. That brings it into top orthographic view. And I'm going to go into my text alignment. And that's going to center the text. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a font on this because obviously the text is not the Netflix text font. So we're going to have to add that font into it. And that font is called Bebas, or I don't know how you say it, Bebas Neo Regular. So we're just going to add this text. And now we have the Netflix font. And don't worry, guys, that will be in the link in the description. You just need to go and click on it, and you're going to download it for free. So, let's just create the Netflix name, obviously. So how did I edit that? I click tab and then I, you know, basically just wrote Netflix. And then I click tab again to, uh, you know, unclick it. So it's now movable. Right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our geometry. Where is the geometry? Here we go. And we're gonna now play around with these figures to, as you can see, this thing changes the it changes the effect of the text. So we're gonna leave this at minus 0.01. Okay, and then we're gonna extrude the text to about, let's say, 0.25. And let me just use my roller and just scroll and see how that looks. And then I'm going to click 7 back on the numpad to go back into top orthographic view. Then I'm going to go into my depth. The depth, obviously it can't be too much, so we're going to go with a bit of 0.01. Let me just see how that looks. I think that looks good. So again, I'm going to click 7 to go back into top orthographic view. So the next thing we're going to do is add a lattice. So the lattice, what we do is we go and we say add this lattice. It's an object, so we're going to add it. And I think the best thing to do is to rename it lattice object. And just click OK, enter. So now that we have our lattice object, what we're going to do is we're going to lift this a bit higher. And we're going to expand it. So I'm going to say SX on the keyboard. And that's going to increase the size, obviously. And I'm just going to expand it a little bit more. Okay, so now we have our lattice object. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to now add a modifier on the text. So I click the text, as you can see it's highlighted, and I'm going to add a lattice. Let's look for lattice. It sounds like lettuce, but I mean, lattice. Okay, let's click the lattice, I mean the lattice, and let's get this little pin. And because we named it lattice object, so we're not really confused now. And this is the object lattice, and we've got our stuff set up. So I'm going to go back to the lattice object, and you're going to see here the resolution. Okay, so we're going to see how we're going to increase this resolution to about, let's say, 30 or 31. Let's make it 30. Okay, and yeah, I think that's about fine. And let's just go back to the text. I think I missed out just increasing the resolution on the text. Let's just make that 5 on the text. Okay, and let's go back to the lattice object. So I'm going to click the lattice object, and now we have our lattice object. Okay, so yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the uh, bottom two here, just where the F is, and we're gonna try and lift this up. So we're gonna click G on the keyboard, and because we click proportional editing, it's gonna only affect that portion that is proportional to where that um, where the circle is. So G, so as you can see G, I click G to move it up and down. So that's what it's going to do. It's just going to go up and down. So I can say GZ, GY, sorry. I click G and I clicked Y. I'm going to do that again so you understand. G and I clicked Y on the keyboard. It doesn't show on the screencast, but I did click Y. And so it just moves everything in a straight line for me. So proportional editing, as you can see, it goes proportional to so it only affects, so if I do it this way, it's going to only affect there. If I do it higher, it's going to affect the whole uh, text, and that's what we want. So I don't want it low, I want it a bit higher, just like how the Netflix sort of look is. I think it's like that, and let's leave it like that. And then let's go for the top two on that side, and let's bring that down. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say G, I'm going to say Y because I want it to go on the Y axis, and I'm going to bring it, I don't want to bring it this way, that's not going to look right. So I'm going to bring it sort of to make it straight. So I think that's okay. I think that looks fine. And yeah, so we have that sorted out. Now, what we can do is let's lift the text that we have. Let's say GY again on the keyboard. Oh, wait. What are you doing? Okay, so I have the text. So let me click the text. Okay, G, Y, and I'm lifting it up. Okay, I'm lifting it a bit up. Okay, let's lift it up. I think that's fine. So yeah, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the lattice object, and let's just sort out these two. So we're gonna just lift it a bit higher. Okay, I think that's fine. And then we're going to take these 2 points on this side. So I click shift, right? I'm holding shift down to click the other one. And what we're going to do now is we're going to say GY again. And we're going to scale it in. So a proportional will be in, and we're going to scale this so it's like bringing this thing down. So we want the N and the X to sort of curve around, you know, not too much, but just a little bit down. I think that's fine. And then we're gonna go into the 2 at the bottom, and let's again try and fix this up. Obviously proportionally scale the whole text, and let's go on the top, GY, just bring that a bit down so we get that straight. Yeah, I think that's good. Now I think that's fine. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. So now what we're gonna do is let's show you how. So this is basically like, this is the lattice. This is what it does. So yeah, what we're gonna do now is let's get this lattice a bit inside, and let's say S. Okay guys, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get this lattice a bit inside. So let's say SX on the keyboard, and let's bring it a bit in. I think that's good. And what we're gonna do now is let's get a plane in here. So before we do that, let's shift the origin cursor by clicking Shift S and say cursor to world origin. So we got the cursor to the origin, and let's say Shift A, and let's get in a plane. We're going to change this plane to about 5, so S5. And what we're going to do now is we're going to change the let's get a, I mean, we could change, let's get the camera in first. So let's get a camera while we're at it, and let's set our camera up. So we're going to say G, so it's right at the bottom of the text. So G, Z to lift it up, and about there could be fine. Then let's click numpad 7 on the numpad 0 on the keyboard, and let's align the text. So we're gonna say GZ to bring it a bit more back, and let's say GY to bring the text more, bring the camera more to the middle of the text. So now we have that set up. Let's set up our materials. So let's open it, another window on the side, and let's get it to rendered view. As you can see, our world setting is on black, so let's change that to a white background. Let's also change the render engine to cycles, and if you got a GPU, put that on, and denoise as well. So let's change the material on this, and let's say new, and then let's make the plane 0.1, and we can make it white. I think let's make the background white and make the emission strength at 0.1. Let's go to the text. Let's add a material on the text, And you could change that to, let's go to the text. So we can say 0.1. Let's just get this lattice object out of the way. I'm just gonna hide it. And I also wanna just go here and select that. So I also wanna click that so I don't click the plane all the time. So the text material, so we can set it as white, and we can control the strength here as you wish. You can make it that, or you could maybe just leave it as black. Maybe black would be better. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you can play around with the. I think I can just leave it at 1, or I can change it to white, but let's lower the 0.2. So let's make it that way, maybe 0.1. I think I'll leave it as black. Yeah, I think that looks better. Anyway, so now that we have our camera set up and our Netflix logo sort of set up, what we can do is we can then go in and get our, let's get our scene music. So we're gonna go in and get a sequence editor, and we're gonna add in a sound. The sound would be there. It's I will put this link to download the sound in the description. So as you can see, let's just play that, and there's the Netflix theme. So let's get in a graph editor. So I want to get in a graph editor as well, and I also want to set, so we need to know when the N is going to show and the last letter is going to also show at the second drum. So it's around 10 or 15 that it around 10. So let's just look at a 10 for now, and let's set this plane. So I'm going to select the plane. I'm going to re-click the selection so I can select the plane, and I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this at G. Oh, why is it my screencast keeps on? So I'm going to set this as I'm going to rotate. I'm going to say R Y minus 3. So let's just do that again. R Y minus 3. So as you can see, it's tilted at the moment. And what I'm going to do at this point, oh, I just want to undo that. I want to undo that, and I'll firstly want to put the text underneath this plane so it's not visible. So I went GZ and I just put it right below our plane. Now we can do that sort of that rotation of the plane. So we have our plane selected, R Y minus 3, and it's there. So we're gonna select a keyframe on that. So we're going to say location and rotation. Location and rotation. Okay. So we set a keyframe at number 10 on the timeline. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our graph editor. So let's select our graph editor. And now we have to set it according to our animation. So let's look at the Z location. The Z location, and let's play this. So we got that set it up. We got our keyframe there, and let's go to about frame 50. Okay. Okay, let's just lower this. The Z location. I'm gonna click, and before you do anything, just remember to go here, view, and select only selected keyframe handles, so it makes our task easier. And also go to edit preferences, animation, and only show selective key F curve keyframes, so it doesn't select all the keyframe curves. So let's go into that, and let's just lower it a bit, just a little bit. Okay, and okay, let's just undo that. Let's go to, let's slow it a bit. Yeah, let's just GZ a bit that way. And let's also go to frame 50, and let's say GZ, and go around there, and let's say location, and then let's go to frame 55 and let's click and rotation. So now we have points on our Z location, which we select, and what we need to do is we need to now try and make the curvature in such a way that it goes up and down in the animation. So let's select this point, right, and let's bring it a bit down. Let's select this, right, and let's zoom in a bit so we get more view of this. Hopefully I get it right. Z location. Let's add in a point here. So in order to add a point, you click Control and right click to add a point, and we got a point. I just need to know, is it below -2 or 30, 35? Let's get that around there. Let's get a let's get that point a bit in and down like so. Let's add in a let's add in a point right here by Control and right clicking again, and maybe that should be good. And let's see, so we can see we're getting some movement. And let's go here, and let's go there. Needs to go a bit lower than that, so around here. Okay, let's set that. Okay, that's set up. So let's see there. So when it enters, it obviously has to Z location, and let's lift this up 10. So we don't have to see the N. It just takes a let's see how it looks on this side. Uh, I think it's okay. I think it's just the ending that needs to be sorted out. So before we get that sorted out, let's get the Y Euler, and let's sort this keyframe thing out. So let's go on to about frame, the last frame. It's supposed, and let's bring that up to the Z, which is there. So let's go there. I think that's good. Yep, so it's working. I think it just needs to be a bit lower. So now all it needs is the Z location to be a bit lower. So on frame 50, so let's go to frame 55, and let's lower that so it just goes a little bit of the text showing. Gosh, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So let's see how it looks. Why isn't it showing? Oh yeah, let's set the new location and rotation of it. 55, 55. Yeah, okay. So there we go. GZ. And location and rotate, location and rotation. There we go. I think we have done it. So I think I could improve on it, but I think what you gotta do is you just gotta play around with this graph editor until you get it exactly how you want it. I think, wait, let's just make this a bit so it doesn't go right back. but it's somewhere around there, you know, and there. Oh, I don't want you to go right down. Uh, so let's just make that a bit straighter and make that a bit higher, GZ again. Let's lift it a bit higher. You just gotta play around with this. Okay. Mm, I think it's fine. So that's what yeah, so that's what it is. Now what we're gonna do is let's change the coloring of the Netflix. So it from its white it goes into red, and then after that all we got to do is just render it. So yeah, let's get to changing the color of the Netflix from white to red. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to our frame 54, and let's go into our rendered. It's set at white. Let's just go to our text again, and let's make this 0.1 text as white. No, let's make it black, and let's make that 1. So and the plane, let's see the plane, if we make it black as well. So let's just change the plane emission back to black and make it 0.1 so we can see more of the Netflix effect. So now we got that sorted out. Let's go back to the text, and let's now go to frame 54, and it's set on white. So all we got to do is go here and click I. So we set the Netflix logo at white, and then on frame 55, so when it goes, so frame 55 we can say red, or you can, yeah, I think that's fine. And let's say I, so I at the, so 54, so maybe let's bring it a bit higher. So let's just go back to the coloring of the text. So let's move this a bit. We can drag this here, and it's 44. So let's just make this 100. So Yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. Of course, we can always change it, but that's just how you do that effect. And let's try and do the, so let's set the camera as is now. So let's say GZ, bring it a bit closer. Okay. And let's say I location, and then GZ. A little bit. Okay, let's say G. Okay, let's go back to that G. Let's go. Sorry, let's go on the timeline and go to frame 8. Okay, and let's go up to mm, about frame 10. Frame 10. Let's go to frame 10, and let's bring that a bit down and click I location. So we got a location, and then we're gonna lift this camera up just a little bit, about so, and we're gonna say I location. Oh, actually, wait, let's not put it there. Let's change that by dragging it to our frame 60, 60 maybe. Now, so yeah, I think that's fine. So yeah, we can always go back and change the, I mean the motion and whatever, but that's basically how you do that. And compositor, and then as the last step, after that we're gonna render. So we're gonna go into the compositor. We got the render layer and we got the composite node. We're gonna say on the top, click use nodes, and then we're gonna add in a viewer node so we can see what's happening. And we're gonna go and plug it into our viewer node. And if you don't see anything in the background, I want you to click render, and don't forget to change your sample sizes on the right, from the viewport and the render, to 128, and then click render, and then you should see your image in the background. So yeah, let's then get into the second part. I'm going to add in a eclipse node, eclipse mask. Then I'm going to add in a blur mask. I mean, sorry, a blur node. And let's just get organized. And I'm going to add in a mix node. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to add, I'm going to hook this up here. And I'm going to plug this in there. And I'm going to plug this there. And we see we get some some stuff to play around here with. So let's change this to about, let's make it a bit wider. So let's make it 0.8, 82827, and let's make the height about, yeah, I think that's about fine. And then we're going to change the blur node to a fast Gaussian, and we're going to then change this to 600 and make that 600, and then we're going to change the mixed to a multiply, and now we get our image. And lastly, we're going to hook this whole thing up to the composite so it composites into our scene. Okay guys, so that's how you basically do the thing. And yeah, it's a really cool way to make the intro. I mean, there's many other improvements, but this is basically the mechanics of how to do it, and you guys can have a try and maybe let's see if it comes out the same way. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Just lastly, the rendering, remember, as always, rendering, you just want to change this to ffmpeg. Then you want to change the encoding to mpeg 4, and you can keep it at medium quality or as you prefer. And then you have your, let's see if it works. So there you have it, guys. That's the Netflix intro. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next tutorial.